Julie Fracker with us on the Oakland County Megacast. Julie, thank you for being with us again today.
Sure, my pleasure. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, how are you? How's the team at Cranbrook been doing?
Good, good. We are slowly gearing up to reopen. We have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, getting things ready for guests and staff. We're getting close. We're looking forward to actually having some people back in our spaces.
I know we talked before when you were last on about what the operations at the museums may look like in the future if they were to reopen. Now that you're going through these plans, what is that going to look like when the art museum does reopen? How will things be shuffled around? How will things be different in order to maintain social distance and other safety guidelines as people are interacting with this art?
Yes, exactly. And I can really, just to talk to all of Cranbrook as well. The best thing for everyone to do before they plan a visit to any of the Cranbrook institutions, whether that's the gardens, the art museum, the Institute of Science, is to really visit the website before they come to campus. So in the case of the art museum, we are going to be doing timed tickets. If you're an art member, those are still free. That's a benefit of art membership, but we are still asking that you register in advance. If you're purchasing a ticket for the day, we are also asking that you register in advance. You'll be given a 1 hour time slot. You can arrive anytime during that 1 hour time slot. And that will just be to sort of limit size in the gallery. What we don't want is for people to come to campus and have to wait out in a long line or be disappointed that they can't get in. So this is our way of sort of managing that, controlling the crowds. At all of the indoor spaces on campus, you will be asked to wear a mask, everyone over the age of 3. If you're under the age of 3, we do ask that you stay in like a stroller or carrier during your visit. The staff will all be masked. There are acrylic panels that are put up to keep our staff safe and to keep the customers safe. We're limiting our transactions, so we won't be accepting cash at this time. You'll be using credit cards, but hopefully, if you purchase those tickets in advance, then there really will be a contact-free admission when you do come to the museum. And then once you're in there, there's hand sanitizing stations throughout. We will be cleaning all of the spaces. At the museum, we've really built this exhibition to eliminate a lot of sort of pinch points. The way that we laid out the exhibition allows people to move through it freely, to really see the art, experience it, and they won't have these areas where they're all crowding around a particular case of something, for example. So our exhibition staff was really thoughtful in the way that they did that. So we are opening on the 15th to members only, so this week. And so again, we still ask that you register in advance. We're open Wednesdays through Sundays, so we're closed on Monday and Tuesday. Register in advance, and then to the art members, will be open from the 15th through the 19th, and then we'll open to the general public on the 22nd of July. And for the Institute of Science, I do have an update. They originally were going to open on the 15th with us as well. They did have a staff member test positive for COVID-19. So they are actually now delaying their opening. They started a deep cleaning yesterday at the Institute, and they don't have an opening date yet. They're just going to wait until it's sort of deemed safe for them to reopen. I would imagine that will be in a few weeks. But other than that, the art museum will still open this Wednesday. And then the Cranbrook Gardens, they're open daily from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And guests are free to walk through the gardens, and certainly to continue to walk on Cranbrook's campus.
So can you tell me, are you limiting how many people come to the museum a day, like 50 tickets, 100 tickets? How are you handling that?
Right. So right now we're gonna take that first week to sort of see how it goes. So we're only offering a certain number of tickets an hour. So it's between like 15 and 20 tickets an hour. And then depending on how that goes, we will be limiting gallery admission. If we're at a certain capacity, we will ask people to wait outside until that capacity moves through. We're going to use, like I said, the first week with this art with art members to sort of just manage flow and see, okay, if we can, if it's working that way, if it needs to be less, if it needs to be more. But the plan is sort of 15 to 20 people an hour throughout the day. But that may change as we move through.
What experience will people have this time versus pre-pandemic?
Yeah, good question. Really, the exhibition is really on the main gallery spaces, so everything will really be very much the same in terms of what they will see, with the exception of, as I said, certain things like cases filled with objects. The walls have been constructed in such a way to allow for really a nice flow through the museum, so that way people can still see, they're still going to have the same access to the art that they've always had. They'll still be able to get up close and look at the work. They'll still be able to wander, freely through the museum. They will, as I said, have to wear a mask. That will be a change. And then there'll be signage throughout the museum that just asks people to maintain that 6 foot of physical distance from other guests. So we hope to have reminders there, but we are asking for the public's help in all of this too, to sort of enforce this. Wear the mask, keep 6 feet of physical distance for both their own personal safety and our staff member safety. Restrooms will be open. There'll be certain protocols. There'll be signage that will indicate certain protocols for that, but they are still going to be open as before. But yeah, we're trying to keep the experience as normal as possible in very unusual times.
For people who haven't been there, it is an amazing museum that I think we forget to visit because it is in our own backyard. So many people are staying home. They are staying closer. So if I'm coming there for the very first time, what should I absolutely make sure I see?
So I think, the best bet really is to allow yourself time to walk the grounds. The grounds of Cranbrook are beautiful. And right now it's a great time to, get out of the house and take a walk. It's 319 acres. And you can certainly do that. And in addition to coming, into the museum and the public spaces, but we want people to remember that we're here, because I know they're getting people are getting cooped up. So I think, plan the day. So plan a trip to walk through the gardens, come to the museum. Again, reserve your ticket ahead of time, and then come through that work. What this exhibition is allowing us to do, because everything's sort of changed for us in terms of shipping and things like that related to the pandemic. So we are actually pulling objects and artworks from our own collection that are not usually out on public view. And so we're allowing the public to see a lot of really, really interesting work. And so this is really an opportune moment to come through and make a day of it. You really can walk the grounds, walk the gardens, come into the art museum, spend the day at Cranbrook. And I really feel confident that people can do so safely.
So one thing you were saying is that at the other museum, they had an employee test positive. What happens if after you open, someone on your staff tests positive as well? Would you then close down or just try to realign again?
We're working through that right now, because we're working through with the Oakland County Health Department on that, and sort of what the protocols will be. It's good that this has sort of happened, before we had guests. Typically, the protocol is that we then report it to the Oakland County Health Division, and then follow their protocols for contact tracing and letting people know. So right now, that's the plan. We're certainly working with them. We have another meeting tomorrow to sort of discuss this through a little bit more, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. But there will be notifications, certainly.
Julie Fracker with the Director of Communications at the Cranbrook Academy of Art and Art Museum. If no one has been there, they definitely need to visit. It's a beautiful asset in our own backyards. Anything else you want to add before we let you go, Julie?
Nope, I would just, like I said, I know people think of Cranbrook as sort of one place, but there are several different, divisions on there. So if you go to our website, cranbrook.edu, you'll see the different divisions of Cranbrook there, and just make sure you visit each website before you plan your visit. We certainly don't want people to be disappointed if something is closed or if they don't understand the different rules and protocols that are in place. So please take that time to do that before you visit.
Well, Julie, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Julie Fracker, the Director of Communications with the Cranbrook Academy of Art and the Art Museum there.